Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. First one this Monday. I'm going to keep it short, okay, because he say, she say is how we say it. She say, he say, she say, he say. Matthew 24 and 6. Always going to keep coming back to this. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. He say, she say. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So let's get into the he say, she say. Now they're going back to Nord Stream, right? Let's see. Not that. Skeletor. They're going back to the Nord Stream. I thought that it was established that that the UK did it, right? Because of the little phone call with the little PM that did 2 months. Okay, I forget her name, but I thought that was firmly established. But now we let a month go by. Now we're pointing fingers, and now you can do whatever you want to do with this false information. Which one is it? So you got a bunch of Edomites who can't do anything but lie, right? They're the father of lies, the Lord of the F lies. All right, so let's listen to Skeletor, full spectrum survival. And so it began. NATO moves 5 strike groups, toward Russia. That's huge. All right. They say Russia blew up the North. Wait, I thought it was firmly established. This is 21 hours ago. This is yesterday. All right. I thought it was firmly established that the UK did it. Okay. Salakia. All right. But now it's whoever we point the finger at. All right. So let's listen to a bit of this, and then we'll get back, all right? We'll close out with a couple of precepts.
What's happening here is they are building a case against Russia. They are building all of the backbones and doing all of the legwork to prepare a massive event to take place against Russia from NATO and the United States of America. The following is a post from the official Swedish investigation into sabotage at the Nord Stream pipeline. It is a precursor to more action against Russia in the coming weeks. Confirmed sabotage is the headline of the Nord Stream gas pipelines, published November 18th. The Swedish Security Service is working intensively on the investigation regarding the detonations, as they call it, at the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines. This investigation shows that the pipelines have been subject to what they call gross sabotage. In the crime scene, again, remember they are building a case here, just as local cops will build a case against you, against someone else before they act. They say in the crime scene investigations carried out on site in the Baltic Sea, the extensive damage to the gas pipelines resulting from detonations has been thoroughly documented. Several seizures have been made, including, they say, foreign items. Explosive residue has been identified on a number of the seized and analyzed foreign items. The advanced analysis work is still in progress, they say. The aim to draw more definitive conclusions about the Nord Stream incident. The investigation is extensive, it is complex, and it will eventually show how anyone could be suspected of and later prosecuted for this. The investigation is being conducted by the Swedish Security Service. It is headed by a National Security Unit prosecutor. Our service, they say, is being assisted in this case by several agencies, including the Swedish Coast Guard, the Swedish Armed Forces, the Swedish Police Authority. They say the Nord Stream incidents in the Baltic Sea are a serious matter, and the service is to protect the people. Moving on, nearly 30% of Ukrainian territory has already been mined. We're talking about a massive problem for decades to come. The area and volumes of mining in the territory of Ukraine have increased 10 times compared to pre-war periods.
Pre-war periods. War. Okay, what is this? What is this? Well, they say Russia blew up the Nord Stream. Let's investigate that. Let's go to something called Gulf of Tonkin incident. What could that be? Summary. Gulf of Tonkin incident. Slovakia, let's see. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, Gulf of Tonkin. Let's see what this says. If they're going to come close to telling the truth here. You should probably go to Wikipedia. Let's look at this real quick. Okay. The Office of the Historian. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin, and escalation. You see that? In early August 1964, 2 U.S. destroyers stationed in the Gulf of Tonkin in Vietnam radioed that they had been fired upon by the North Vietnamese forces. In response to these reported incidents, President Lyndon B. Johnson requested permission from the U.S. Congress to increase the U.S. military presence in Indochina. On August 7th, 1964, Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution authorizing President Johnson to take any measures he believed were necessary to retaliate and to promote the maintenance of international peace and security in Southeast Asia. The resolution became the legal basis for the Johnson and Nixon administration prosecution of the Vietnam War. Are they going to say that it was some bullshit that they made up? Let's see. By August 1964, the Johnson administration believed that escalation of the U.S. presence in Vietnam was the only solution. Well, what did you do? Okay, let's see. What did you do in order to achieve that? So it doesn't even go into it. Okay, so this is some bullshit. Okay. So let's get to the crux of the situation. Where's Wikipedia? Let's go here real quick. Let's see what this says.
The Gulf of Tonkin Incident, 1964, the Vietnam War. The Gulf of Tonkin Incident, or the USS Maddox Incident, is the event responsible for America's entry into the Vietnam War.
And that's crucial, okay? Because NATO wants to get into the war in Ukraine, the war between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine is not part of NATO. What are they doing dying to get? So somebody went and blew up the Nord Stream, okay? So they're making the whole thing up. Same thing with this. Let's see if they tell the truth.
Vietnam was divided into halves, North and...
Now, who divided Vietnam into halves? That's like somebody coming to the United States. Well, we're going to draw a line, and this side, okay, the Russians are going to fight for. This side, the Americans are going to... Who's done that? Who does that?
Ruled by separate regimes, but the United States were concerned that Ho Chi Minh and the Communists would win the upcoming elections and were determined to stop the spread of communism.
You hear this? United States goes over to Vietnam and says, well, we don't want this guy to be. What the hell do you have to do with Vietnam? And going over, sending troops over there to fight? What the hell is going on? It's about way more than communism. It's about natural resources. Okay? The Emerald Triangle.
U.S. military involvement, however, had been minimal until 1964. President Lyndon B. Johnson had been training South Vietnamese mercenaries, sending them into North Vietnam to carry out acts of sabotage and gather intel.
What? Did you hear that? Sending them over to start a war. Hear that again. And then that wasn't enough. They wanted to get more troops in. So they made up a story about the USS Maddox being attacked, and it was all bullshit.
South Vietnamese mercenaries, sending them into North Vietnam to carry out acts of sabotage and gather intel.
Okay, so South Vietnam, they paid a guerrilla force to go in and fight against the government, is what they did.
And minimal until 1964. President Lyndon B. Johnson had been training South Vietnamese mercenaries, sending them into North Vietnam to carry out acts of sabotage and gather intel. On July 31st, 1964, South Vietnamese commandos had attacked North Vietnamese targets in the Gulf of Tonkin. On August 2nd, 1964, American naval destroyers had moved into North Vietnam waters to gather intelligence on the enemy's naval strength. The USS Maddox was nearing the mouth of the river delta when Captain Herrick noticed that they were being followed by North Vietnamese torpedo boats and had intercepted communications of their intention to attack, so he fired 3 warning shots. The USS Maddox was then fired upon by the enemy torpedo boats. Captain Herrick retaliated and opened fire on the torpedo boats, and with the assistance of U.S. jet fighters, hit all 3 enemy targets. The enemy boats had fired their torpedoes, but they all missed. The USS Maddox then retreated back into international waters. 2 days later, a second patrol was launched into the Gulf of Tonkin by the USS Maddox and the USS Turner Joy, when Captain Herrick reported that they were again under attack. Secretary McNamara and President Johnson agreed that retaliation was needed, and the expansion of the war was approved by Congress.
It was a false flag. Let's get that. Let's get that. Gulf of Tonkin was a false flag. See if any truth comes out. The truth about Tonkin. Okay. Let's see. See if the truth. Truth about Tonkin. Questions about the Gulf of Tonkin incident have high government officials distorted facts and deceived the full U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. All right, and you can read this. All right. Well, it was a false flag. What were they doing over there? What, you just cruising up into other people's neighborhood, expected not to get fired on when there's a war that you created, right, between the Vietnamese people? Come on. So that's what we see right here with they say Russia blew up the Nord Stream. Yeah, you're trying to get in the fight. We understand how it goes. So this is already going long. And so it begins. NATO moves 5 strike groups toward Russia. They say Russia blew up the Nord Stream. Who's they? NATO. You see this? All right, we'll go ahead and close it. What's going on here? This is Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Okay? This is what we're watching right now. The escalation of World War III. Nobody's going to stop it. The Most High is working on the minds of these presidents and generals, and they're going to go to war. This is what they do. Bunch of damn liars. And the father of it. And the father of it. Who's the father of it? This bunch of Edomites about to fight each other. John 8:44. There. We hope that the elect were edified. Hey, this war ain't going nowhere. All right? We'll get one more here. Let's get Ecclesiastes. 3, right? I always spell it wrong. ECCL. That didn't. Ecclesiastes. Can we get 3 out of this? ECCLETES 3. There we go. KJV. All right. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Okay. Jump down to 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What time are we in? We're in a time of war, clearly. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified, brothers and sisters. Shalom.